Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, post E3, the new season of updates for Fallout 76 is starting to swing into motion, and as we might expect, the news is coming along with it. So, Bethesda have shared today a little bit more about what we can expect to see over the next few weeks and months. So, let's take a little look, shall we? So, as you may know, the Nuclear Winter game mode has gone temporarily live this week. That's to coincide with the free trial week that Bethesda are currently running. So, if you've got friends who haven't played the game already, or if you haven't, then you can hop in, play it for free until Sunday night, I would assume. Certainly Sunday anyway. And give the game a go. It's come on a very, very long way since beta and launch, so it's well worth checking out again. Along with that, they've released the new Nuclear Winter mode for this week at least. It'll be going away, unfortunately, at the end of the week while they work on it some more. But it's been a lot of fun. Much to many people's surprise, mine included, it's Battle Royale mode, which I know a lot of people will have a negative reaction towards. That said, I know an awful lot of people who thought, oh, I don't really want to play Battle Royale, and certainly not in Fallout, and have then tried it and actually gone, you know what, actually I do want to play this. Because it's actually really, really good fun. It really keeps the spirit of Fallout alive whilst putting everybody in a small section of the forest and making them fight to the death as a ring of fire closes in on them. A lot of fun. So if you haven't seen it already, then do check out the stream this evening. That should be good fun. And as one last mention, if you haven't already, then do head over to Gabby for XP's channel and check out the little chat we had the other week. It's a pretty interesting chat all about YouTube and my experiences here and his experiences to a degree as well. So do head on over there and show G4 a little bit of love as well. So, looking at what Bethesda have for us today. Inside the Vault, E3 Roundup and Double XP event. Always welcome. So, welcome back to Inside the Vault. This week we're bringing you details about a new Double XP event that kicks off next Thursday, and gathering up all of the biggest Fallout 76 announcements you might have missed if you didn't catch the Bethesda E3 showcase last weekend. And if you didn't, there is a link somewhere up here-ish. Here-ish, actually, I think. That will take you to my personal roundup of most of E3 in general, but dominated, of course, by Fallout 76, so you can go there and have a look at my reactions and my take on things if you're interested. But, Double XP event next week, that's, where are we? Thursday, 20th of June, running through till Monday. It's 4 in the afternoon to 4 in the afternoon, those of us here in the UK, 12 PM on the east coast of America. And as you might imagine, standard Double XP weekend, both adventure and survival modes. By that point, Nuclear Winter will be back off the table, so it won't include that. I'm guessing this is a response to sort of a follow-up to the free week that they're running this week as a way of giving people that extra hook to keep playing once the free week's over. I think it'd probably be more effective if it was a little earlier, but maybe a free week rather than a free weekend, but or a Double XP week rather, but it is what it is. That's quite cool, always welcome. So I think I shall probably be levelling up possibly even a new character. I might take advantage of it for that. So I've got a couple of things lined up that I'd like to do. Levelling up 2 characters might be pushing it, but we'll see. So yeah, do watch out for that one. So the E3 announcement roundup. As I say, check out my video if you want to find out a little bit more. Should be on the card up in the top left corner. Right corner for you guys, to be fair. So, Fallout 76 free trial week we've already touched on up until Sunday. Jump in, try the game for free. And, ooh, this is interesting. Then pick up right where you left off by purchasing Fallout 76 for up to 50% off from Bethesda.net or at participating retailers. So you'll be able to pick the game up for much cheaper as well once the week ends, which is very, very cool. That's definitely a useful little hook for people. It'd be good to see more and more people coming into a very much revitalised game, and a game that's just going to continue to get better from here on out based on what they've shown us at E3. So there's a Nuclear Winter sneak peek, which is where we are at the moment. It's pre-beta, according to the patch 10 notes, which I didn't do a full video on, because most of it's just geared around a few little combat changes that I already have touched on, and a couple of other little bits and pieces related to the Nuclear Winter sneak peek. Recently unleashed patch 10, which is a sneak peek at Nuclear Winter, our new Battle Royale game mode. Each match challenges you and your teammates to outlast the competition in an action-packed, last team standing 52-player battle to the death. It's a lot of fun. Little intense if you're trying to play solo squads, but if you get a couple of friends together, or hell, even one, just 2 of us playing last night, had a lot of fun with it. It's kind of a bit more laid back and a lot more social that way, and very, very fun way to just run around a section of the forest taking out other players, and yeah, it's great. It feels good. A couple of things need a bit of work, but hell of a good first effort for a Battle Royale as well, which is really cool. I'll be doing a more detailed sort of overview and sort of feedback and I don't exactly want to say review, but something in that general direction towards the end of the week as well. So when I've had a bit more time to play it and formulate a more solid opinion, so do watch out for that. So what's new in patch 10? There's patch notes linked here as well. I'm going to link this inside the Vault blog post down below as well, so if you want to have a look in more detail yourselves, you can. We've been reading your posts, watching your streams and playing right alongside you. We're incredibly happy to see how many of you have been enjoying Nuclear Winter so far. The community's response to the new mode has been very encouraging, and we hope you'll continue to share your thoughts and suggestions with us as you dive into more matches this weekend. To be fair, since E3, I think Bethesda have kind of knocked it out of the park with what they've done. They said from day one, to be fair, that the game was going to develop in conjunction with community feedback. It was always the plan. Nothing wrong with that plan either. It makes a lot of sense for a game that's going to be evolving and continuing over a long period of time. And the two big updates that are coming, Nuclear Winter, I don't think a lot of people asked for a Battle Royale, but Bethesda have managed to go, here's a Battle Royale you might have asked for had you actually thought you wanted one. I know it sounds a bit odd, but they've done a really good job on creating a Battle Royale for Fallout players rather than a Fallout-themed Battle Royale for Battle Royale players. So I think that's why it's been so successful this week and why a lot of people who didn't expect to have been enjoying it. And I've also noticed on social media, and I think a few other people have noticed as well, that the tone of the conversation, with the usual bad eggs aside, has generally swung more into, actually, I kind of regret not playing more Fallout 76 earlier, which is really good news. That's really good for the game. And part of that is Wastelanders. That's coming up in the autumn, which my initial guess was it was going to be September, but I have a feeling it might be more like the middle of October, which I'll get to in a moment. They'll be kicking off Wastelanders, which will return NPCs to Fallout 76, or return, which is very cool. Obviously not what they were planning to do it initially, but the feedback from the community was, as we well know, extremely strong on that point, and they've, as we'll see in just a second, doubled down on how they're doing it. As during Fallout 4, a lot of the response to the change in the dialogue was not overly positive. They went from the previous long list of options to how you could respond in conversations to a limited selection of 4 for every conversation, more like a Mass Effect style. And it got mixed responses. That it streamlined it, but people didn't really want that. So with this, they're going back a little further and saying, okay, you weren't keen on Fallout 4's take on it, and you're not keen on Fallout 76's no NPCs, so we're going to give you NPCs, and we're going to go back to Fallout 3 and do it that way. So if we have a look at an article over on Games Radar here, it says very, very short conversation with Jeff Gardner, who's the project lead on 76. Fallout 76 getting NPCs in the upcoming Wastelanders update, blah, blah, blah. And there's a good chance you'll get some Fallout 3 deja vu, or nostalgia, I'm hoping, because that'll be a lot more enjoyable. Seeing an early version of the dialogue, the entire log tree gave me the chills. I was like, this is what I want, Gardner said. Going on to explain that Fallout 76's attitude towards chatting to the upcoming human NPCs, the team was doubling down. And so it's not like Fallout 4 where we have 4 options. We're going back to the Fallout 3 style where you have many different options. Obviously, it's depending on the questions you're asking and getting asked and answering. Also, the specials are going to play heavily into them. This is something that was in Fallout 3 and I think to a degree New Vegas as well. Depending on how you specialise your character with the special stats, you could take on checks that are contextual to each individual conversation and take that conversation in a different direction. There's a few examples, like your first arrival in Megaton in Fallout 3 that springs to mind on that. But there's obviously a lot of others as well, but it's the easiest one for me to pull out there. You'll be able to see different options, take a crack at them. I'm not sure whether it's going to be just a case of pass or fail depending on whether or not your score's high enough, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining either way. But yeah, being able to open up new dialogue options based on the fact that you've specialised in certain directions is very, very cool. A welcome return, I think. Definitely a good shout on Bethesda's part there. So if you have high strength or perception, there will be different options in development. You can choose your own. Basically, yeah, move the conversation on in a direction that suits your character build, not just your role-playing, which the two, I suppose, tie together, but that's very, very cool. So we've got a few more details on Wastelanders and Nuclear Winter over on another post that they've linked, so we're jumping around a little bit here. Covered most of the details on Nuclear Winter. Loving the Game of Thrones obligatory joke there. So, people are returning to Appalachia in a massive free Wastelanders update. Year 1 of Fallout 76 was all about the vault opening and players settling in the wasteland. Year 2, humans are returning to reclaim Appalachia. This huge update introduces a new main quest full of choices and consequences. I think a lot of people will welcome that. With a lot of memorable characters with unique stories to interact with. Good, they're really throwing themselves into this one. And we suspected from the trailer we've seen, but it confirmed in more detail here, factions of raiders and settlers. Theoretically 2 factions, but I think they're going to be subdivided by the sound of this. Sort of smaller groups of settlers and possibly multiple raider factions or sub-factions. Aim to make the world their own and claim a rumoured fortune. That'll be the main story quest line. That'll be interesting to hear about that. Who you side with is up to you, and your choices will determine their fates. Both settlers and raiders will present you with unique companion stories and plenty of new weapons and armour to earn. Unique companions. Interested to see what this is going to be. Is this going to literally be player companions that will accompany you, or is it something else? Heard people asking whether or not we might be able to have settlers at our camps, but I think that could be an issue with the portability of camps, but it'd be an interesting idea if they find a way to pull it off. New weapons are always welcome, new armour, yep, also cool. There's a couple of things in the trailer that I'm very much looking forward to. I want to do a bow-based build in future, and it looks like that's going to become a lot more viable with Wastelanders, so I'll push that one off down the line. Using crossbows is not really all that viable at the moment, so... Wastelanders will fundamentally change the way you experience Fallout 76. It's set to arrive in the fall of 2019. So with it being the 2-year thing, I think it's going to be probably timed to coincide with the year anniversary of the beta coming out. Game launched in November and you're getting a lot more towards winter rather than autumn there, so I think probably middle of November will be when we can expect to see Wastelanders, but obviously we'll find out near the time. Nuclear Winter is the focused first. Yeah, nice little insight into what is coming over the next few months in Fallout 76. So hopefully there'll be a lot more news, a lot more cool updates. Of course, Bethesda will be piling the bug fixes in as always, and quality of life changes and so on and so forth. So feedback as always. And yeah, I think the future's looking really, really bright, and I'm looking forward to the next few months in Fallout 76. And aside from that, there's actually a ton of other things I'm looking forward to as well, as like Doom Eternal and countless other games that I will be here all day if I list. But check out my E3 video as well if you want to see a little bit more on that. So those will probably fall in the category of live streams rather than videos, although there'll be the odd one here and there as well. So it should be, yeah, lots of very cool stuff coming up over the next few months. So, enough rambling from me. Links down below if you want to read in a little more detail yourselves. For now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Do hope you found that useful and informative. If you did, do hit buttons for me. It's always very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description as well if you want to catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And do stop by and catch one of the live streams as well if you haven't already. We're having lots and lots of fun playing Nuclear Winter this week, and we'll be jumping back into the main game as of next week once this Nuclear Winter trial period ends. And if you really enjoyed the video, then please do consider hitting that join button, maybe becoming a channel member. That support is hugely appreciated. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.